Non-negotiables that I've learned on my 90-pound weight loss for Zepbound 5 milligrams and above. Hi friends, I'm Elizabeth, Countess of Shopping. Super stoked, having lost over 90 plus pounds on Zepbound and Mounjaro. And on today's episode, I want to talk about non-negotiables with you, of things that have really, particularly if you're on Zepbound 5 milligrams, that was when I started to really look at my habits. And over the last year and a half, my life has completely changed. If you've seen any part of my story of the 300 plus videos here on YouTube, we have a powerful community here at Countess of Shopping. I want to go through and start knocking them out. Number one, non-negotiable for me back now, but for sure if you're starting back at the beginning of Zepbound, and I do think Zepbound 2.5 milligrams for all my friends who are just starting, really focusing in on side effects, how you feel on the medication. For me, again, I'm not a healthcare provider, always talk to your own. So that was my first big one, is weight training. I knew I needed to start weight training in some sort of capacity. Now that doesn't mean I did it, but knowing and trying to figure out different solutions for weight training to help prevent that muscle mass loss. With any sort of weight loss, we have muscle mass loss. That's not just with GLP-1 medications, although people in the media do try to like paint that picture. But how can you, for your non-negotiable, like take what you want, leave the rest? But if I'm talking to a friend over a cup of coffee, what would be for you? What does weight training look like for you? Is it starting off with wall Pilates because you don't want a gym membership, you want to do it from home for free, or a home YouTube? There's a ton of them here on YouTube. Is that in the cards for you? So you don't even have to get a gym membership. I would encourage, and my non-negotiables are start taking out what the resistant barriers are and eliminating those. Is the resistant, you don't want to drive to the gym? Great, do it from home. Is the resistance, you don't want to buy a bunch of weights? Great, use cans of soup in your, use the big bags that you have. I know we have a ton of different things in our garage as your weights instead. Like you can start eliminating these, totally. Next non-negotiable for me is I still go to the grocery store, but I am obsessed with Instacart. I'm not sponsored by them, but having my groceries delivered, game changer, because I can have Costco groceries. Those are the best in my area in terms of grocery chains because of like the higher quality in produce and lean, healthy meats. It works really well for me, but again, going back to what were my resistance barriers, it's crowded, it's time consuming. I live in rural Virginia, so driving there. So a non-negotiable, how are you gonna get your foods? What works well for you? And for me, it was just getting Instacart, having it plop down, saving myself an extra hour and a half, 2 hours of my life. And that eliminated not having good food in the house. You feel me? Anyone else out there like me? Am I the only one who's like, it doesn't taste good? Having good foods that I'm really, really excited about. I am really excited this week about my Costco chicken sausage. 3 links are 90 calories and 10 grams of protein. This has been revolutionary for me, finding foods. And so using that for time-saving hack for me, super, super helpful. Next non-negotiable is we go to local farms here in rural Virginia. We live in farm country and there's a ton of good produce. And I get very excited about going to the farm, picking out my produce. And then when I come home, my non-negotiables, I wash it. I put it in a little bit of baking soda and vinegar to help wash it. And it helps the baking soda, it makes produce stay fresher longer, allegedly. But that's what I do, allegedly. Washing it, cutting it, putting it away. So then, and we have a glass refrigerator. I know that is bougie. I acknowledge the bouge, but it literally, because we can see in the glass refrigerator and the clear glass containers that things are in, you can literally see what the produce is. That is so helpful. Maybe getting a glass refrigerator, I understand, is an extreme, but can you put your produce in a way in your refrigerator that you'll be more apt to grab for it on a different shelf, in different containers, something, or not even changing the containers, literally just putting it right where your eyeballs are when you open the refrigerator doors. That has been very helpful for me to get in more fiber if you're on Zepbound. Constipation, diarrhea, constipation, nausea, those 3 gastrointestinal things are big, particularly if you do titrate up to Zepbound 7.5 milligrams. Those side effects may change for you. You may have raging diarrhea right now, and you may get constipation at 7.5. You see what I'm saying? Like sometimes the side effects do change. So having a system for me for my produce and for my protein, which I'll talk about in a minute. My next non-negotiable for Zepbound 7.5 milligrams is getting in 10 steps per day. Now, as I go through, if I am overwhelming you with life changes, just pick one. Hear my list, stay till the end because I got some good stuff for you. Make sure you stay till the end. Pick one to start implementing this week. We do not have to change everything at one time. For me, let me use my I statements. I did not and will not change everything at one time. It's too overwhelming. So picking little things to focus in on each week for me has been very helpful. So this is my all-encompassing list, but I want to encourage you, pick one. And we're going to talk about that at the end. So keep staying. 10,000 steps per day. And I track that on my Oura Ring. I've done a whole Oura review video on it. I bought my Oura Ring and it's been so instrumental as a data tool to tell me a lot of stuff about my body, my own body. And so getting those 10,000 steps per day, did you know that's 5 miles in a day? I did not know that. So each mile is 2,000 steps. So this morning, for example, I walked for an hour and 15 minutes. I was sweaty Betty. I was so sore. And I did it with a friend. She's another businesswoman. We talk business. We walk really hardcore and we're hoofing it in that hour and 15 minutes. We are. So how are you going to get your steps in? I would encourage you, the 10K steps per day, so helpful. And for me, that's really been very much a focus recently. Been really because it's easy. It's easy. I'm like at 8,000. I'm like, okay, I just need to get another mile. Let's go around the block with my kid or my hot husband or the dog or whom. Like I usually go with someone. If I don't, then I'll pop in some earbuds and listen to a really, really good YouTuber. You can watch me or podcast or whatever, or Audible. Next, do you have a system to take your daily vitamin? For me, that was instrumental. I had been taking an inferior vitamin previously and I switched over to Gem vitamins and I'm obsessed with them because of their high-end product, the high-end ingredients in it. Truly, what I was taking before was inferior. This is a premium. Like I'm so grateful I switched because my portion sizes were so big and then now they're so much smaller. I was so worried about getting into the proper nutrients. Switching over to Gem Bites, oh my gosh, it has been one of the best things for my 90-pound weight loss journey because I've taken these for a while. And I would encourage you, do not miss these, like being consistent with them. And that's why I ask, do you have a daily system for your vitamins to take these because it has so much nutrition in there. Now, in terms of the nutrition, this is one of the things I was stoked about is it has prebiotics and probiotics, which we know, and I talked about earlier, those prebiotics and probiotics, and particularly with GLP-1 gastrointestinal things with Mounjaro or Zepbound or tirzepatide or whatever you're on, are huge. And so having those prebiotics and probiotics within it has been very, very helpful for me. But in addition, it also has in there and some of the other ingredients too that I think are super, let me pull that back up so you guys can see, super important to note is ginger and spices because it helps with as a mind activator, which I want. Vitamin K2 and vitamin D2 for bone protection in there. Sunflower oil with vitamin E to help as system defender. I mean, it's got a ton of these high premium black pepper, for example, for absorption enhancer, zinc as a systems defender, turmeric for skin and gut protection. Like it's got these beautiful, amazing high ingredients. But for me, if I wasn't taking it on a daily consistent basis, I was not getting the benefits. Anyone else relate to that or just me? The only whack job out there. And so being really, making sure each day I'm having my vitamin, having a system for that. Now I just have mine downstairs by the coffee maker. I don't have it at breakfast. I typically have mine, for me personally, I found the system worked best for lunch. So then I can have my lunch, have this. They taste so good. It tastes really good. And Gem has been super generous with the Countess of Shopping community. They have been super generous with us to give us, in terms of a discount, which you guys know, I love giving you guys discounts. It makes my heart so happy. Right now, Gem is offering a 50% off of your first month. Go to dailygem.com/queen, QUEEN. That's dailygem.com/queen and use queen at checkout because you are a queen, even if you're a gentleman. Go get your queen on. For the gentlemen and ladies, I am completely obsessed and they've been very generous for your first month. And then put the pouches somewhere easy for you to use. That's been helpful for me. Next, huge non-negotiable, using an air fryer. I've gotten really good with my air fryer because I can make really quickly those bare naked chicken tendies. It's high protein. It tastes delicious, it's low calories, and then the air fryer makes it crispy. I have found that I really am a textures person, and so having things in the air fryer, I have a mini one. It's 2.5 quarts or 3 quarts. It's small. And I can make servings just for myself. Now, if I'm making it for my family, I'll use the bigger one, but that small one's easy to clean, easy to wash, and really quick to make food in, particularly if I'm busy. Next non-negotiable, having a top 5 protein list when you're busy. For me, this has been big, being like, okay, what can I do? I have my plan. And you guys know I've talked about this ad nauseum. I have 2 free weeks worth of meal plans, totally free. And so if I don't have time to punt to this free meal plan, which it's linked down, by the way, all of these are linked down in the description link below. Just click that more button and it'll see all of the links. Totally free. In an ideal world, I have this every day. Sometimes that doesn't happen. And so having a top 5 protein list, you have one for you. Like, what is your capsule, your top 5 capsule of things that you can just grab if life is not life in the way you want it to? For me, this has been a game changer of having protein shakes, my chicken sausage recently, it's been my new favorite love, eggs, edamame, lean frozen turkey, and then for a go-to that sometimes I'll have delivered by DoorDash or Uber Eats, Chipotle. It's so simple. It's so simple, and I can have those. It doesn't become anxiety produced, which it used to. This is why I'm saying, do have some proteins you can go gravitate towards that are super helpful for you. Now, keeping myself accountable is my next non-negotiable for my goals for the week and for the month. Do you have somebody you can be honest with and hold yourself accountable? For me, it rotates between a couple of different people, but do you have a couple of people that you can be accountable with, right? I mean, in my free encouragement group, hopefully that's a space for you that you're utilizing. It's a private Facebook group, so like not everybody can see your posts. You have to be admitted into the group, and I am anal retentive about having people come into that group of making sure it's like not bots, spammers, things like that. But you have a place where you can be accountable. Literally this morning, the accountant and I got brutally honest with him about my health, how this week went for me for my weight loss. I was checking in, and normally I don't like to talk about my weight loss with my husband. I have other people I do that with, but I wanted to talk with him about our meal structure and protein and some things that would help me on my goals. Not for him. He does his stuff, I do my stuff. So we're all like, you do you, boo, I'm gonna do me. But collectively as a family, some things that I think we can improve, specifically for myself, of how can they best support me and how I can best support them too for our health. Next non-negotiable, prioritizing sleep. I track it in my Aura. That's been really important for me. And I've done a ton of videos on talking about sleep and my sleep studies. I wanted to see, maybe I don't have it on here. The sleep that I get, I think that's really important. Here it is. Here's my bad sleep that I had been having that I can see, and then now good sleep because I prioritize that. If it's not good, I fix it the next day. I'm like, oh, I'm going to bed early. If you have little children, I do also recognize, having just come out of that season, I now have an 8-year-old, that it's hard with little kids, and recognizing sometimes you're doing the best you can. Or if you have a partner that you're caretaking with, come out of that season as well with a family member that was caretaking with, it's hard, right? So try to put your mask on first and then help if you're caretaking with somebody else. Next, celebrating when I look back when I have positive reinforcement. So for me, I used to not do this. I am non-negotiable about this, of pausing, reflecting, being grateful for where I am and looking back. Have you looked back in your journey to see how far you've come? For me, it's a miles. I am not this person anymore. Like this, for me, this person, I'm not that person anymore. In a lot of ways, not just physical, like the morbid obesity, but in general, like a lot has changed for me in a great way into the human being that I'm really grateful for, that I am so grateful for that. So have you paused and looked back? For me, that's a non-negotiable, and that helps me stay grateful as well. Falling in love with the process. Okay, have you figured out how to fall in love with this process? With food, changing your food, and physical activity. Because Eli Lilly tells us we've got to make major life changes in terms of our eating habits and our physical activity. Have you fallen in love with that process? Because if you love the process, you will do more of it, right? Like if we really enjoy someone's personal company, we'll hang out with them more. Same thing applies with our food and with our physical activity. If you are doing stuff you enjoy, you're going to accomplish more. It's going to take you further. So how can you make this fun for yourself? Fall in love with the process. For me, that's a non-negotiable. And some things are just going to stink. My husband and I had this conversation last night. Some things just aren't fun, But if there's ways in which I have control over some of this, which a lot of it I do, what can I make it fun? For me, walking with a friend now. I'm like, I love talking business. I'm obsessed. I love business. I've owned multiple multi-million-dollar companies, and so I love talking business. Let me talk about with one of my really high friends who we can meet easily, and we have a certain time that we meet, and there's a nice location we go. Like, the whole thing is very pleasant. So how can you make this fun for yourself? And it may take you swinging the bat a couple of times to find the physical activity you really, really enjoy and the foods you really, really enjoy. Or switching it up, going on Pinterest and finding some new recipes over there. If you don't follow Countess of Shopping on Pinterest too, you are missing out. Same thing, click and like and subscribe here on YouTube. You're missing out. Okay, continue to learn for GLP-1 food and training. So for me, continuing learning is a non-negotiable. Like, I want to know everything about GLP-1 medication, about my food, about working out. Like, I'm really, really on a learning. And I'm assuming if you've watched this far in this YouTube video, we are connecting there on that we both actively want to continue to be well educated and learn more. Staying ahead of the shortage is a non-negotiable for me. Knowing that FDA list, which you can see in my playlist, click that like and subscribe button, go check out my playlist for the FDA shortage videos that I've done on Zepbound shortage and Mounjaro shortage videos. Staying ahead of that, my refill time every 3 weeks. But y'all, I messed up. This past refill, it was this past week, I screwed up. I did not refill it. I feel like the biggest ding dong. I did not refill my medication on time, and that screwed me because if refilling on the 21st day, it gives me that 7-day buffer with a shortage. And now I've essentially blown that. It's now been like day 27 or something like that. Ooh. And I've done so many videos on this, on systems to not do that. Life has been crazy, so I'm giving, this is like my, 18th refill. I've given myself some grace on that. Next non-negotiable, telling people my goals who I want to know my goals, and then not telling other people my goals who I don't. But having a few, selected few, going back to the accountability piece of it, also sharing them with them your goals for this week. My husband knows this week I'm going to be traveling a ton for my job. And so we talked about, like, how am I going to get protein in when I'm not at my house? What does that look like? Like, that for me, telling people my goals, I'm like, I'm going to get my protein in. I'm still going to do 100 to 120 grams of protein per day. It's just going to look different. And so that's what I want to encourage you to, is if you're telling your goals to the right people that help motivate you, that help lift you up, that help bring you energy. Again, that's why my free encouragement group I love, because it is a very safe, loving, kind, uplifting space. And if it's not uplifting, those people don't stay long in the group. They don't tend to stay long in the group. So those are my non-negotiables. I want to know from you, what are your non-negotiables? What are your non-negotiables? You guys always have the best insight, and which is why I love reading the comments. I may not reply to every comment, but I do see them. So I want to see your list. And if you don't want to put it here on YouTube, we can also continue this dialogue in my free encouragement group. You can also go ahead and take advantage of that discount from Gem for 50% off the first month subscription at dailygem.com/queen. Go ahead and snag that down in the description link, as is my 2 weeks worth of meal plans for Mounjaro diet, Zepbound diet, tirzepatide diet. And your accountability question is, what are you doing today to move you closer to your goals? Truly and really, not tomorrow, today. And if you're behind where you should be, can you go ahead and catch up now? I know so many of you, and it makes me so happy when you're like, I'm working out while I'm listening to you. I'm like, yes, I love that. It makes my heart so happy when people say that. I'm like, yes, 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 yes. Our emoji of the day is going to be stars. We do, it's like a bat signal. It's like a bat signal. So I know that you've made it this far in the video. It helps me to get to know you better. I'll also pray over you. If you don't believe in prayer, I'll uplift you in positive thought. All are welcome. It's a positive group, but the bat signal for today, our emoji of the day, is a star. It will tell me, and if you're not near where you can use an emoji, you can type it in, star, and then I'll know. It's like a gentle nod to each other, like, I see you. I see you, and I truly do care about you. I may not know you, but I care about you, and I really am cheering you on with this journey. That this has changed my life so much, and I love our community because we're all collectively on that same mission to change our lives, to better our health. And maybe your goal is not to change your life, but it's to better your health. And that's been so cool. So, so cool. So sweet friends, I'm grateful. The bottom line is I'm grateful for you. I appreciate you. I love you. I am cheering for you. The Count is cheering for you. The Duke is cheering for you. This community is so meaningful to me. I would not be where I am with that 90-pound weight loss and health changes if it wasn't for our community. So Thank you. From the bottom of my heart, I appreciate you so very much. It's been, words can't even express. It makes me emotional. I'm not gonna get emotional today, but it really makes me so grateful for you. Sweet friends, be kind to yourself, be kind to others. I'm Countess of Shopping. Count my blessings because life is delicious, and share this video with 5 of your friends. I bet you've got some 5 friends out there who are on GLP-1 medications. Go ahead and share this video with them. Don't hold it to yourself. Share the video with, I know there's some people to share the video, and if you've not clicked that subscribe button, go ahead and do so too from today's video. Love y'all. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Bye, guys.